Welcome. Let's do a quick summary of Kurukshetra edition January. Now, this edition talks about space technology and its application in rural India. So, space technology has definitely brought in major drastic changes in the rural development, mainly pertaining to agriculture, water resource management, and disaster management. There have been numerous initiatives done in respect to this, as nearly 65% of our people live in the rural areas. These challenges have to be addressed. So when we talk about schemes and their implementation, for example Manrega scheme and its implementation, let's say a pond has to be built, then through the space technology we can actually designate areas, we can have a proper inventorization of the region, and then bring in projects with proper technology using GIS and remote sensing. If we talk about different segments as well, agriculture and food security is one of the major aspects, and India's economy, in terms of economy, the contribution is 18 to 20% of the GDP. There are landmark initiatives like green revolution which have been there. Agriculture constitutes to nearly 12 to 15% of our total exports, and then using remote sensing satellites we can actually analyze the crop coverage area, the yields, the productivity, and based on that farmers can be assisted with better information and the things that they can actually grow and bring in. Also, for the lower income group, government has brought in schemes like Fasal Bima Yojana, Soil Health Card. Now, all of these can be facilitated using satellite data and remote sensing data. The next is in the field of horticulture. Again, it's a subsidiary field of agriculture, I could say. So, understanding the hyperspectral satellite data to analyze the stress on the leaf, the plant health, crop quality could be one of the ways. In the field of marine development, aquaculture, we can have thermal imaging tracks for water temperatures to understand the better aquatic health, bring in the sediment level, the clarity of the water, the chlorophyll gauge for the plankton growth. Similarly, there is a digital agriculture mission. Now, this mission focuses on initiatives like public infrastructure, implementation for crop estimation survey using government data, academic research institute data, and would help in two important pillars. One is AgriStack and the other is Krishi Decision Support System. Now, both of these are the basic ideas under the Digital Agriculture Mission. The idea would be to assess the growth of crops, the soil, the weather, the water resources, and its availability and understanding. Now, water resource management, another important aspect where we understand the availability of water in an area, the proper distribution, and the quality of water. Now, mapping the water bodies, reservoirs, their volume, the sediment load, the seasonal variations become really important, and then the amount of recharge that they can have, the process of flow of water, the effluent flow into the water. Using the DEM models, we can analyze the watersheds, the sub-basins. Similarly, irrigation management is another area in which space technology, remote sensing, and GIS can be applied. We can identify microsheds, we can identify the watersheds, and using that data, we can understand the recharge zones, the water conservation. The next is disaster management and preparedness. So, here we focus on flood monitoring, understanding the damage assessments, the national agriculture drought assessment, the early warning systems, the post disaster management, and connectivity to the rural area. Now, again, connectivity to the rural area, the Gram Sadak Yojana, we can understand using the GIS technology which areas are yet to be covered under the project, what are the areas where road and infrastructure have already been there. Similarly, through the space technology, telemedicine is one of the breakthrough revolutions in medical science. Through this, even the PHCs can now communicate with the CHCs and the major super specialty centers for treatment of the doctors through virtual methods, and this would help patient actually remain in village and get a proper treatment. There are again another portals like eSanjeevani, which is the largest documented telemedicine initiative for primary healthcare centers to supplement the teaching, e-learning through satellite, and providing quality resource persons to each and every nook and corner of the country. Tele-education is another such initiative. So through platform like Swayam, EduSet, we are trying to bring in education to every nook and corner of the country. The next is land and property records through the drones. Now each of the land would be identified, satellite imagery would be taken, and Bhumi initiative combines this with the satellite imagery GCPs, that is the ground control points, and then they help us to identify the exact latitude and longitude and assign the land records, verify the land records, and help in the simple transfer of the land through modernization and recording. The next is the Samvita scheme. Now this employs the drones and geospatial technology to map the rural parcels. Bhuvan Panchayat, this offers information to the national resource management system for space-based information for decentralized planning. The next is BharatNet. Now BharatNet is an initiative to provide connection for internet into the rural areas to the last point providers through the gram panchayats, and nearly 2.5 lakh gram panchayats would be benefited based on this. This has been implemented into 2 different phases. Now therefore, considering all these facts that we have discussed, understanding that the fact that space technology and the rural India's transformation is really important. So Vikram Sarabhai was considered as the father of space program in India, actually leveraged the space science for the benefit of the nation, for the society and welfare of humanity. So there have been premier organizations who are working to fulfill these goals, and there are numerous other technological developments which are coming in line. There have been inception of various space programs since 1960s into different segments. For example, specialized for water and land development as RESET, Cartosat for cartography, OceanSat for oceanography, INSET for meteorology, and so on. Now, remote sensing has been no doubt a tool for all the seasons. So, understanding using remote sensing for Indian agriculture could be one of the breakthrough developments through IRS 1A. We are able to identify the coverage of the crop, the production estimates, and other details. Then, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare has been applying the remote sensing technologies into agriculture. Initiatives like Fasal has been one of those where we understand the forecast acreage, Chaman where we understand assessing the area and the horticulture production. Then we have NAMDAS, which is the National Agricultural Drought Assessment and Monitoring System, which is an initiative to understand the abnormal weather conditions in India, identify the drought prone areas, the drought prone districts, the 17 major drought prone states of India, and bring them on a parameter of either normal, alert, or watch condition, and this has been possible through our space satellite systems. The next is in the cases of soil and water, again advisories can be given for drought, for stress conditions, and then there are optical sensors on satellite for resource set 1, 2, 2A, which are actually studying on the land use coverage at a scale of 1:10,000, which is a very minor area that could be covered in one go. So crops, which crop should come in the Kharif, Rabi or Zaid crops, which area should have a double crop, triple crop, all those suggestive measures can be brought in accordance to the study and the results accordingly, right? The next one that we would understand and focus here is understanding on the product developments. So there are various products under IMD, for example, agrometeorological service advisory services known as Grameen Krishi Mausam Seva, that is in partnership with various agricultural organizations. We have Agromet field units, district Agromet units. Also, there are GeoManrega, which is a platform that eventually combines the geospatial data with the Manrega and helps in photo tagging at the Bhuvan portal itself. Samvita, as we said, is a scheme for land mapping, so survey of villages and mapping through improvised techniques in the regions of village, right? Focusing on the advanced developments would bring in better accountability and sustainability in the growth. of the rural areas. Then we have Bhuvan Panchayat. Now Bhuvan Panchayat, under the Bhuvan Panchayat version 4, we are focusing on governance and decision making using space-based geospatial data for rural development. So different Gram Panchayats can be interlinked. The satellite data could be implemented at a local place, and then suggestions could be given across panchayats. So let's say one panchayat in West Bengal is doing a breakthrough work in the fields of water conservation. The other panchayat in Telangana is doing a work in the field of agro development, or preserving the native species, the indigenous species. That information could be interchanged. Those basic ideas could be brought across, and this would help in better development. So through the Bhuvan Panchayat, this is one of the ideas for better governance and decision making for the panchayat committees. The next is for the emergency response preparedness. Now, if there is a situation of flood, drought, cyclone, those could be well warned to the local people in advance, even to the fisherers, the farmers, the local dwellers, and those emergency responses could be taken timely in order to save the loss of land, property and human life. The next is the decentralized planning at the panchayat level would actually help in better implementation. So for this, we have theme-based base layer maps, centralized data banks, web portals for Panchayati Raj institutions. There are various phases in which this has been done. Mainly Cartoset and ResourceSet have been employed for understanding the data, implementation of the data, and bringing it onto a major disk. So here is how the geospatial data, the census, the climate data, the inventory, the geoportal and capacity building, all 6 verticals combined together under the deep centralized planning system at a Panchayati Raj level. And then, as we said, using Cartoset, ResourceSet, we are in a position to understand these technologies and bring a proper implementation of these technologies. Land records and digitization of land records, we already said, and the major importance is this would settle out any kind of land disputes, reduce the number of load on the courts, the Supreme Court, High Courts, the civil courts, focusing on encroachment, Benami properties. There would be less inefficiencies in the processes, because the manual process would be ruled out. The survey, the planning would be more precise, and this would help improve the overall rural structure. Then we also have Navik. This is again a very breakthrough development. This is the navigation signal system similar to the GPS system that we use or the Google Maps that we use. This navigation system would actually give us a timely location data and essential development suggestions in the local area. So using the Bhuvan Panchayat Geoportal, state governments can be actually able to implement the initiatives under Digital India and empower the panchayats for the same. So bringing in or bridging in the divide of the rural urban becomes really important, and space technologies are no doubt a breakthrough development to reduce this bar between or bridge up the gap between the rural and the urban disparities. Now, as we said, the applications we have already talked about in the agricultural sector, mainly pertaining to the yield of the crop, the monitoring of the crop, the soil health conditions, the proper land use planning, agriculture, crop insurance, mobility, the village resource centers, information on that. Now, if we talk about the village resource center, how it is beneficial. So it actually has a radio station which creates regular awareness on important issues, educate the children in the school, brings out information in case of disasters. So if there is any hazard that is ongoing, any environmental forecast that could be done could be brought to the local dwellers at the best. Now, telemedicine and its scope has been widening specifically in the remote areas. For example, let's say we talk about the island group of Andaman, Nicobar, Lakshadweep, where it becomes very difficult for the people to actually travel to mainland and get their treatments done. Telemedicine has proved out to be a boon on those areas. For weather prediction, again, this has been very beneficial in case of forest fires in the Himalayan areas, in case of landslides. Again, if there is a proper forecast and warning, a lot of damages and mishaps can be reduced. Now, talking about drought mitigation, as we previously discussed, 70% of the India is prone to drought conditions. So proper monitoring of soil conditions and growing crops which actually don't require a lot of water, the drought resistant crops could be a good option. Checking on to the forest fires in the rural, in the remote forest areas. Again, with the developments and meeting the idea of sustainable development goal, the idea of tele-education has to be advanced. So during the pandemic, we have already seen a lot of education going digital, but through the space for SDG development, we are trying to have a better widespread perspective for the same and bring in better opportunities. There has to be a global perspective that must be brought in, and a space economy which contributes to 1.5% of the GDP. Now, bringing in opportunities for the students from the remote areas in the rural vicinities. Yuvika is one such program which has been done by the ISRO. There are many other CSR efforts that have been done specifically to promote STEM education, provide internship and scholarship to the children. There have been enhanced quality education in the space programs which mainly pertain to skill orientation, better collaboration, focusing on capacity building and improving the access to rural areas. But still, we do face challenges. The challenges is the limited capacity of good educators, the socio-economic disparity and unwillingness of many of the educators to go into the rural areas who can actually bring in quality education, but that could again be ruled out through the space technology and digital integration into the mainstream. Again, for the fisheries, there has been a mobile app which has been released. Now, this app has been done in order to help the fisherers to ensure that they are not crossing the international maritime boundary. They are being aware of weather advisories. They are being aware of the current locations, the tidal things, and any adverse weather situation that could be seen in the region. So, Nabhamitra network and the apps for real-time tracking of the sub 20-meter boat has been really important. So, this Nabhamitra talks about a distress message which is sent via the Android app, which gives you the weather alerts into the specific region, and also alerts you of any national emergency for the same, or the emergency in the region for the same. The next is Sagar Mitra SAR emergency messaging app. Now this app also triggers manually. This is triggered manually by the Indian Coast Guards to the fishermen, and it connects to the SATCOM terminal via Bluetooth and sends an emergency message on the phone of the fishermen to alert them about any distress situation that can be seen. So through the satellites, early warning systems can be done, and this would be very beneficial. And on the coast, the Indian Coast Guards have been working day in and day out to track that and provide the information to the fishermen at the very first go. So again, the same thing we have seen in the drought prone areas, in the flood prone areas, in the regions where there could be a possible cyclone that could be affecting the region. So some of the major satellites that we have already studied, the RESET, the Cartosat, have been really breakthrough. But there are again global projects, for example, Senitel, Landsat, which have been providing international insight into imagery, data processing. There have been collaborations by Food and Agricultural Organization, World Meteorological organizations for monitoring, assessments, warning systems, mitigation. The mitigations can then lead to government policies and implementations. As we said, for flood management of the flood, so managing the river level, the intensity of the rainfall, the flood plains become really important. But again, all of these are coming up with their inbuilt limitations and challenges, which is mainly the infrastructural gap, proper information to be transferred to the last mile. Again, data accessibility, connectivity, integration of the policy, and a proper framework through which the process goes and runs and reaches every individual. So if a Coast Guard is assigned to inform the fishermen, it's important to ensure that each and every fisherman of the region gets the information and the response for the same. The next is Krishi Decision Support System. Now this is a part of the Gati Shakti for agriculture, bringing in accelerations in geospatial and non-geospatial technology, combining for a better agricultural future in India. So this program was launched on 16th of August and brings in a geospatial platform for Indian agriculture. Now this would help in better decision making, there would be data driven solutions that would be provided, and then there would be a portal which is known as Vedas, visualization of earth observation data and archival systems, through which blogs, news, information could be transformed. And this is the basic idea under the DDS of Krishi decision support system, which talks about the weather updates, the crop insurance, soil data, drought response, flood impact management, and early warnings as and when required. So these data driven systems are based on either model driven, knowledge driven, document driven, or data driven. And as you can see, the model driven is the most complex, managed by staff and managers, and it requires deployment of softwares and hardwares in order to implement those. However, the data driven is actually on the client side, where through the server the data is actually transferred, and that data is percolated to the grassroots level. So definitely the developments in the remote sensing technology, GIS technology, and space technology has brought in a game-changing developments in the rural areas. Still lot more to go. So we'll be covering many such important topics and updates. Indeed, the handouts for this lecture would be available on Examrace for free. So you can just go on to the current affairs section based on Yojana, based on Kurukshetra, and get the handouts there. Thanks for joining in, and we do bring in the Yojana's, Kurukshetra, and down to earth summary on a regular basis. Stay tuned, stay subscribed.